It's DSP's Game of the Year Awards, the best games of 2011. Honorable mention, The Witcher 2: Assassins of Kings. This was actually the very first game that I played on my then brand new gaming PC, and right out of the gate I was blown away by the amazing, beautiful detail in the graphics of The Witcher 2. Now admittedly, The Witcher 2 was kicking my ass when I first tried to play it. It's definitely not the kind of game that you can just jump into and be good at on your first try. You're going to have to learn the advanced of combat system, how to use different enhancement potions to win in certain situations, and it's just unforgiving. Like some other games this year, such as Dark Souls, you will die very easily, very early on in the game, unless you actually do some prerequisite research before you start playing Witcher 2. And admittedly, during my playthrough, I did get very frustrated early on in this game because it seemed to require that you did research in order to know what you're doing. However, once you get past its steep learning curve, The Witcher 2 is actually one of the most enjoyable games of 2011. I mean, a very, very multi-leveled, engrossing story, different plot arcs, and depending on which choices you make in the game can actually completely change the gameplay, and some really cool boss battles, some really interesting situations. It's really a beautiful game, and so it does need to get some respect and definitely needs a mention in my Game of the Year awards. However, I just feel that because it does have such a sharp learning curve that it's going to turn off a lot of people who otherwise would have probably enjoyed the game if it was a little bit more easy to jump into. And that being said, case in point, just to prove my point, they actually released a patch for The Witcher 2 to make it significantly easier because so many people were complaining the game was too damn hard upon its initial release. This game will actually see a console release in 2012, and hey, maybe it'll finally get more appeal as it hits a mainstream audience since it was a PC exclusive in 2011. Getting back to the countdown, it's number 7, Saints Row the Third. Now here's a game that understands exactly what it's trying to do: have off-the-wall humor and fun. Saints Row the Third is not a game to be taken seriously, and literally will throw every kind of hilarious combination of things at you besides the kitchen sink. I mean, there are emo techies, lucha libre wrestlers, giant mechs, army special op type people, zombies. You go to outer space at one point. I mean, it's just insane the amount of craziness that you face in this game, but the game knows what it's doing. It is pretty much the epitome of open world gameplay. The ability to create your own designed character is definitely an added plus. The sheer amount of open world quests, jobs, side goals that you can do, in addition to the actual main plotline, can add hours upon hours of interesting and fun gameplay to your experience of Saints Row the Third. But all in all, I think the best way to sum up what a hilarious and fun experience this game is to tell you what my favorite moment was: kicking a cat-like mascot in the balls, pulling out a giant purple dildo, and slapping him across the face repeatedly. Yeah, you can do that kind of stuff in Saints Row the Third. They really did a great job here developing a game that is fun just for the sheer sake of being fun, having some pretty interesting looking graphics and interesting design to the game itself. Again, the open world nature of the game, having so many fun, irreverent side quests to do, never taking itself seriously, always being hilarious. This is definitely one of the best games of the year. Surprising for me, I never thought that a Saints Row game was going to end up being one of my favorite picks, but because of the amount of content and the fun that you have playing this game, it comes in at number 7. Up next on the countdown, some familiar faces make a most welcome return and don't disappoint on delivering some epic adventure.